Look who's back, back again. Big Al's back. Tell a friend. Look who's back, look who's back. On this video, I would like to go over so-called assault weapons, aka also known as weapons of war, weapons of murder, weapons of destruction. And I would like to dispel some of the myths, flat out lies, and propaganda and enlighten some folks who don't know any better, just basically give a better understanding. Now, you're constantly hearing on the news that someone used an assault weapon or that assault weapons need to be banned. And when they say assault weapons need to be banned, it gives it this negative stigma, and what it does is a lot of people who are pretty uninformed, it gets them on board with your agenda, and it is just a flat out agenda. It's not based on a true caring for the people. Um, Assault weapon. First of all, every single firearm can be used to an assault you, can be used to a kill, can be a weapon of war if you've decided to make war with it. Um, Anytime a gun looks scary, they want to call that an assault weapon. It is not an assault weapon. An AR-15 that most people own in America, or that you go in a gun store and say, I would like that, that is not an assault weapon. When the military uses their M16, which is basically an AR-15, but it's the military version. Civilians can buy their version, and there's a military version. The military version can fire what's called fully automatic. And it's important to understand this definition. Fully automatic means you pull the trigger back. As long as you're holding that trigger back, the bullets are nonstop firing out. That's also, when people say it's a machine gun. So you just pull it, as long as you're holding the trigger back, it fires really fast. And in war, that can give you an advantage because you're putting more rounds down the range than the next guy. That's fully auto. Semi-auto or standard guns, which is 99% of every single gun that an American owns, literally 99% of all guns owned by Americans are single fire, they're semi-automatic, they're not fully automatic. Very few Americans own fully automatic firearms. Okay? Now, in order to be an assault rifle, you have to have the option of turning it to the ability to fire full auto. There's usually a selector switch on the side. You can do single fire, or you move a switch, and then all of a sudden it's full auto. Hold on the trigger, bop, 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 bop. Now, a civilian can purchase a fully auto assault rifle, but you have to get what's called a federal stamp. You go through an extra level of approval and background check that you don't go through when purchasing a regular firearm, and it can take many months, and you got to pay at least $250 extra just for that check, just for the right to own that one gun. So 99% of the guns in America are not assault weapons. They are not fully automatic. Okay, now let's talk about the scary weapons of war, the military guns, the guns that nobody needs. I just brought a couple of different guns out here just to kind of help you guys visualize. Now, crap, I was not ready yet. Bear with me while I talk and set this one gun up. Okay, so I am going to show you two different guns. They're both going to be 22 long rifle guns. They're going to carry the exact same bullet as each other, but they're going to look different. Both guns are going to fire semi-automatic, which means you only get, every time you want one bullet to come out, you got to fire the trigger one time. Okay? And I'm going to go over why some people think one is an assault rifle and the other one isn't. It's basically, it's just all perception, okay? So bear with me. I got to put this gun together. It's a Henry survival rifle. It actually comes disassembled. Okay, so these guns I'm going to show you fire the 22 long rifle round, which is a common round. Basically, when you see a gun that is all black and you see a long magazine sticking out of the bottom and you don't know much about guns, your first thought is, oh, that's a scary military gun. And you're assuming somehow it does more damage than the next gun just because it looks scary. And I'm going to go over why that's not a true statement. So bear with me. I almost got this gun together. Sorry, I was not fully prepared. Okay, here we go. Now, this right here does not look scary. It does not look intimidating. It does not look like a military weapon or a weapon of mass destruction. It's basic, just a basic stock. Only the parts that are needed on a gun, no accessories, nothing fancy. It holds an 8-round mag, and I'm going to call it clip to trigger those of you who hate it when we call it a clip. Clip, 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 clippity, clip, clip. Holds 8 rounds. Okay, doesn't look scary or intimidating. I can fire at a somewhat far distance because it's got a longer barrel. It's a rifle. Every time I want to fire a round, I gotta boom, boom, boom. Okay, now, if you're good with a gun, you can pull the trigger really fast. I can send these 8 bullets out of here slightly slower than a lot of fully automatics. That's another thing I want to get into. If you got a fully automatic gun, there's different rates that it fires the bullets. Some fire it really fast, like, you know, however many. If one fires 800 rounds per minute, another might fire 1,200 rounds per minute or 1,500 rounds per minute. If you take a fully automatic gun, that's kind of at the lower end of the scale as far as how many rounds per minute it can fire while you're holding the trigger back. I can take these 8 rounds and I can fire them out this quick. Pop, 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 pop. That's pretty fast. It almost sounded like a fully auto. Pop, 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 pop. Compared to da, 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 da. It's a little bit slower. Okay, so there's that 22 bullet, 22 long rifle. Now, when we switch to this other gun here, bear with me. Now, if I did not say a single word to you, I just held up an image of this. I didn't talk about the gun. I'm just like, look at my tactical assault weapon. Look at my evil weapon of mass destruction. Look how scary it is. You know, it's got to be an assault weapon because it's scary, right? All black, you know, black things scare people in today's society. I'm being sarcastic. Let's go over, you know, this scary military gun. It's got a bipod on it. All that does is it allows you to rest it on a surface so it's not moving around while you're trying to aim. So you can aim a little better. It's got a scope on it. You look through the scope, it takes something that's further away, makes it appear a little bit closer, so it helps you when you're aiming at things that are farther away. It doesn't make the bullets any more dangerous. I got a high capacity mag. Now that right there, that is the trigger. For the snowflakes out there, that's a major trigger because like, oh my God, look at that mean, scary banana clip. That clip by itself could probably jump off the gun and start, you know, beating people over the head because that's a mean, scary clip. It holds 25 rounds. Whether I'm using this gun or this gun, now I could have showed you a gun similar to this that had an old traditional wooden stock and it looked like something your grandpa would use to hunt a rabbit, and it could have held 10 rounds, and then I could have put my 10-round mag in here and I could tell you the fact that neither gun is more dangerous than the other. Both do, mechanically they both perform the same function. This gun came with a 10-round mag. I had to buy a 25-round. So if I take this out, it comes with a 10-round mag. When you put the 10-round mag in it, which I didn't bring out with me, sorry, It sets flush so you don't even see it. It looks slightly less scary. So a lot of this assault weapon talk is about guns that people think look scary. It's not about the mechanical functionality of the gun itself. So there's the definition of an assault weapon. You have to be able to hold your finger on the trigger, and as long as your finger is on the trigger, pop, 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 pop. When we're talking about what different types of guns are being used in actual murders, not defend yourself, but to actual commit murders, about 97-98% of all like spur of the moment murders are committed by pistols. They're used by pistols, people with handguns. They're not even used by long guns at all, let alone the ones that people are calling assault weapons. So by banning what you are calling an assault weapon, if somehow that even was effective, like every single gun that you guys want to call an assault weapon, if all of a sudden that was no longer accessible for criminals to use, that's maybe 3%, 2 to 3% of all homicides. So by magically banning all those, if you could, and getting them, shipping them off to Mars or Uranus, now criminals can only commit 97 to 98% of the murders that they were committing before. But keep in mind, the firearms that are being called assault weapons, they're not even assault weapons. They fire one round at a time. So this same gun that's not an AR-15, it's just a common 22. I got 25 rounds in here. Okay, I can go out, if I was a criminal, with 25 rounds, pop, 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 pop. I could do a lot of destruction. This would not be on the list whenever most propaganda-driven politicians, when they want to ban assault rifles, this would not be on the list. But this can do everything an AR-15 can do. The bullet's a little smaller. It doesn't, in most cases, it doesn't typically do as much damage as an AR-15 bullet, which is the 5.56 or the 223, depending on whether you live in Britain, NATO, or American. But the bullet, you know, in most cases, does a little less damage. But if you made, like I said, if you made an assault weapon ban, that would not affect this gun. Okay, still looks scary. So that's why I'm against the so-called assault weapon bans. It's an agenda. It's to start with the scary guns that a lot of people can get on board with that agenda if you're not well versed and knowledgeable in guns. A lot of the common folk can get on board with that law. What the politicians want to do who are anti-gun is they can't just wake up one morning and ban every single gun. I mean, there would be such a fury, a backlash, it wouldn't be possible. They're too ingrained into our society. So you got to start with steps. You got to do it in steps. And you always tell the people, you're not trying to take away their rights, just only common sense gun laws. And then you start with the most obvious, least intrusive law that the majority of the people can get on board with. Once that one gets passed, you take one little step forward. It's like drawing lines in the sand. You go one more step with something that, you know, still a decent amount of people can get on board with. You got to do it in steps. You got to do it over time. And the politicians know that it takes time. And they're willing to fight this battle. They're willing to take one hill at a time. But their ultimate goal is, regardless of the lies they tell you, their ultimate goal is the complete removal of firearms from the common man. Okay? That is their ultimate goal. Don't fall for the lie, we only want common sense gun laws, because I could tear apart every single so-called common sense gun law that they try to propose to you. So now you know what an assault rifle is. And now you know that every time you hear a newscaster say assault rifle on TV, they're not really talking about an assault rifle. They're talking about a rifle that fires one pull, one bullet, just like a rabbit hunting gun, just like a deer hunting gun. This is Eagle Owl. Thanks for watching.